Welcome to yet another episode of Shifting the Paradigm with Lesego Ralitsela. As you know, it's the golden guy, Gauteng native executive. Yeah, man, I brought a special guest today, Dikgang. I call him Dikgang Mabalane, but yeah, he'll introduce himself. How are you doing, my brother?
No, I'm
yeah,
good and Jack.
introduce yourself.
Like a DK, B, too many, Ross. I have many names, but hey, whatever you flow with, you know what I mean? But DK and Jack.
Okay. Do you mind maybe just blessing us with full names?
Dakalo, Edit, Nemawara. That's my full name.
Okay.
Yeah, but then many people don't know how to say Dakalo straight, so they just call me DK.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
you just roll with DK.
With DK.
Okay. Now, so my brother, yeah, just take us back. Who are you? Where do you come from? And how did this whole journey, varsity, you know, the level of growth in your life, how did it come about?
I grew up in the hood, you know what I mean? Most of my life, grew up in Kokasi, Don Park, more Boxburg, some know it.
Okay.
If you live in Forslow, K1, or Spray Chief, probably
East
heard of
Rand,
it.
basically.
East Rand, yes, East Rand,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm fit to Kanakasi, push school, you know, majority of my life has just been school, chilling currently, playing with the gyms, you know, a typical Kasi gent lifestyle, you know what I mean? Obviously not getting to the influences that Kasi, you understand? Fine. High school it changes, you know. High school, I've been told many a times, hey, you're too rough, why don't you consider joining rugby?
Okay.
Then I was like, away. Grade 8, came a rugby. Then I've been playing rugby, then it's high school, then it's in the academics, so what?
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, then obviously now we're here. Third year now in W.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
That's a blessing.
just thankful for it.
So, just you actually speaking about, you know, I guess the transitions in your life, you know, and having to kind of make it out and be who you want to be from where you grew, you know, the whole class and so on. Like, how do you discipline yourself to say, it's again, I have an objective in this life and I have a purpose. How can I really, you know, make sure what's really very Jack, I get where I want to be?
Here's my thing, right? A lot of people get influenced by a lot of things. I understand. You grow up, you see a certain lifestyle kokasi, you see a hot man, okay. These cool gents are kokasi, so okay, how am I over? You know, it shows you different things. Now I've just been naturally observing since so I could tell her, okay, out here kasi, but I'm diski, nalomong push things gila, nalomong okay, no, maybe they figured out this thing by less so wabo. So I get it, you know what I mean? There are a lot of influences. Whether I get it right, so you choose. Number two, the company you keep. It's very vital, understand? But to chill out, they're going to influence you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You become who you surround yourself with, understand? So if we're not then most definitely slowly but surely you're gonna get by the path. Maybe you come from a good home, parents for the shago, steady house, but then because of the company that you keep, you're gonna become that person. So now it was a thing of, hey, I had to decide, eh? I saw Kabana Hotmanaga anywhere, he's like 40 now. But still and I was like, this is not the life that I want to live. I don't see myself living this life. I don't want to be 40, kids all saying, get well. I'm like, no, that's not life. I'm like, that's not life.
You'd rather choose
a different path. I'm sure there are many different paths. Then I was just lucky enough that because of the work that I do, you know what I mean, academic wise, I was able to get exposed to a lot of teachers.
Okay.
And those teachers offered a lot of opportunities, like, hey, this program A, want you see, like grade 11.
Okay.
Grade 11 I was chosen to be part of the Spirit of Youth program. Yago Gibbs, right? Gordon's Institute of Business Science, right? Okay. That's where I got to go out of gas, you understand? Go to places like Sentin, you know what I mean? Below for Sentin. Got there, meet a lot of people. I met a lot of people from different schools, different social, it's people my age. I can't remember was selected, so it's a whole group. It's like a whole leadership program thing that lasted until November, I think, somewhere there, if I remember correctly. But because of the circumstances of COVID, it couldn't be as frequent. So it was, I think, twice a month on Saturdays. So you go there, I'd meet since I like to socialize a lot, I'd meet different people. I'm like, oh, what's your school? And then I got to meet, oh, okay, there's actually some people that get us like, oh, Crawford. Crawford is a type of private school. Okay, this what happens. Where do you go? Monanak is Orange Farm. Oh, how's Orange Farm? Explain me. Lifestyle, what's it wrong? How's it this? And then the program director at the time, I got a name. I'd always tell them, every time I come here, I want to meet different people. Yes, you assigned a group from the get-go, but then I wanted to just really meet new people, get new experience, learn stuff, right? You know what I mean? Just naturally learn. So from those experiences, shared experiences, I got to see there are different paths in life. That I'm not actually limited in actually being a typical Gasinega. Understand? You know, it's I don't want to live the stereotype and be part of the statistic.
Yeah. Now that's marvelous. So basically, what you're saying, you gained a sense of inspiration, just seeing different people.
I was inspired. I mean,
and their way of thinking,
being able to see someone who's your age driving a really nice car that you only dream about or only see about on TV,
for sure,
or only see on social media, whatever the case is, and you're like, yo. How do your parents afford that? What do they do for a living? Then they get to say, no, my parents do X, Y, and Z. And you get to say, oh, that's nice. I'd actually love to meet your parents, if they don't mind, you know, just to be, so they can tell me how did they work towards getting this, providing this lifestyle for the kids. Then obviously, now you see, okay, yes, it's nice living Kokasi. I mean, it's a vibe, it's vibes, but you can't be vibes the entire time, you know? You have to get serious at some point in time about your life. You have to be honest with it. Hey, I'll tell you so, these are the things that I want in my life. But if I want these things, a few things need to change.
They have to change.
You like it or not, they have to change.
So how, in all that being said, because I feel like a lot of us, as it could be a gender, it could be a male, you know, if you were exposed to that, maybe, you know, going to school, could be a public or private school outside your home, so I guess, yeah, some people call them Model C's and whatnot. How do you still, because I feel like I struggle with this, how do you still embrace opportunity again, get to a guys, but at the same time feel the same ambition that I still feel myself, I'm still confident like that, despite the fact that I'm from this.
It still goes back to the fact that I had really good teachers that I mean, high school, you could be teachers that, but some class, you know what I mean? They understand your struggles, they know what it's like to go up in class and having to fight to make it, right? And they get to tell you, hey chief, don't look down on yourself just because you're from class. Yes, these are the cars that you're born with, but then you can still change. Change is possible, you know what I mean? They tell you, hey, don't be disappointed, chief, there's a lot. There's a reason they always emphasize the you know what I mean? You are more. You're destined for more. Understand? This is not just your path. This is not the end. It's not supposed to be just metric. This. No. There are a lot of things you can do. It's just up to you.
Now, so as much as, you know, we're talking about all these growths and, you know, developing as a learner, from a learner to a student, in all, you know, that happening in your life, you're growing, you know. Now you know my kid, you're a teenager. Now you know my teenager, young adult. How do you find it, you know, now navigating and establishing proper relationships with the family? Family, like how do you stick like that? Because I think with one thing with varsity or whenever, maybe after, you know, high school,
some people just naturally become distant.
It's easy to be. It's easy to lose that contact, how do you, right? You know, find importance in that?
Remember, family dynamics are different, right? For some family backgrounds, they've grown up with that culture. We express ourselves in this way, right? Whether it's sitting at the dinner table, eating song, you know what I mean, talking about our day, or having time to just sit as a family. But for some, that's not the case, you know. Some will tell you, you know, when I grew up, time I was always working, Bolito was always working, so we didn't really have that system or that structure. That's how we express our love. So, hey, it's different, right? For me, rather, it was It was good because I had a sound relationship with my brother, my mother. Even though my father, yes, here and there, I'm starting to develop into a closer relationship. Right? So obviously, it's the calling, it's also the little gestures, right? Remember to keep family relationships. Sometimes, hey, family politics ruins a lot of things, right?
For sure.
And you inherit beefs because of your child, your child of person, mang mangs mang mang. You know what I mean? But you have to learn how to, hey, I don't know, in a sense, learn how to manage it, right? Because no family is perfect.
Yeah.
No relationships are perfect. But learn as more to you understand. And just I'd say for families sometimes, as a child, because remember parents are very old school. You're still a child under their roof. But if you don't have a form of communication about what right? You don't know how to establish boundaries about what. It's very important because some feel like their parents, they can't speak to their parents because of X, Y, and Z. Whatever the case may be, emotional turmoil, or they know that their parents are just going to step.
Okay.
Another thing of comparisons. You know, parents, you know, as much as they go to work, they get to have colleagues, and the colleagues also have children, and they tell me, oh, you know, my son, my daughter, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And they come back home and they look at their child and they're like, but my son's not doing 1, 2, 3. It's also a danger for parents, right? Most parents fall into that trap sometimes. It happens. Unknowingly, it just happens. But if you can just be able to communicate, like I feel like with parents, it's gonna take time because they grew up on a different, time. Their parents also didn't know what we're doing for some. Yes, we have to forgive them at some point, but it can't be just, hey, they don't know. They also have to learn. A willingness to learn on both sides so we can be able middle ground. Once you have a middle ground, then we know, okay, we can establish a relationship, whether it's your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. That's it. It's just finding a common ground, rather.
That's really nice, man. It's very instrumental. I feel like as maybe naive, stubborn, or cocky or pompous as we might be, I feel like family is plays a very important role.
There's a reason they say that. Okay, for some blood is thicker than water, right? But for some the reverse is also true, right? Sometimes blood is not thicker than water because they come from really tough upbringings and childhoods and homes, right? Some find family outside of their immediate family. But at the end of the day, hey, they're still your family, eh? As much as they may not do things that you like, you're living in a toxic environment, whatever the case is, those people are still your parents, that person's still your brother, that person's still your sister. Yes, we're not saying you have to be having the perfect kumbaya relationship, but basic communication, just to understand, hey, we're family at the end of the day. I may not like what you do here, but we family. You have to stick together because family is important. Remember, a friend, someone you meet outside can quickly flip on you anything. But if you don't have that backup as a family, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right? It's supposed to be your foundation, something that you can fall back on or fall back to rather.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, with all that being said, I'm always, it could be a bad thing at times, but yeah, this is my philosophy of life. I just want to, shine a light and be progressive. So as young people, especially in the black world, I feel like now we have or bear that responsibility to actually create a better family systems than our elders, it could be grandfathers, grandmothers, our parents. How do you think we could navigate that? Where could we start? Because I feel like it starts now in your youth.
To start, it's just to start asking your parents how they grew up, right? And to ask them how did they feel when they were put in these circumstances, right? That's that we're trying to gain from the past, right?
Sure.
They experienced these things. They probably acted without knowing or subconsciously because they grew up knowing this is what a boy child does, this is what a girl child. Like it's very different, right? And the world is ever changing, and you have to change with it, right? So you have to adapt to the change. But I feel like it first starts with asking your parents, hey, how did you grow up? How's it like? How was your mom? How was your dad? Did you have any fights? How often did you fight? If you had fights, how did you resolve them?
Okay.
Understand? Then I guess you can have a basic understanding. Okay, so this is how he grew up. Do I want the same for my kids, or do I want the same for yeah, for my future kids, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? Can't be saying, no, I'm gonna do the same. You know, like, look, corporal punishment for many black children understand corporal punishment. They grew up under the system of corporal punishment. But now it has created kids who are very resentful, number one, who are good liars and good manipulators, right? Because they knew that for them to be able to conversate with their parents or to ask something basic or to just go out, I have to lie, I have to do this, I have to say something, this, and then ask yourself, is that what you wish for a child to live under, right? So it starts there.
Okay. I like that, man. I feel like you're on the same page in terms of, I feel like growth, life is all about having open-ended conversations to understand, to create understanding. As much as we're different, there has to be that, a way or route for us to have a common ground. And that's what I call love. So, yeah, in families, we have cousins, we have
Extended family.
we have extended family, we have
Uncles,
siblings,
aunts.
we have. So as a person, DK now, university or third year, you're almost finishing. Surely, maybe considering post-grad studies. How do you keep that fire within the family or close family, even? But those coming behind me, actually, this is the path, this is the blueprint on so hold this lane.
Rather, I'm not a person who likes to limit and tell them this is the blueprint. I'd rather say this is just one of the many paths that you can take. You're not limited to this, right? I like to allow people to discover themselves, right? About who they are and what they want in life and what they want to do for themselves in life. Where do they see themselves, right? I know it sounds a bit naive to be like, no, put your 5-year goal, put this, but growing every day, right? Living within your purpose is what's gonna be truly working in your head, right? Because you're gonna be able to live your life to your fullest potential, right? Whether you're calling, we have different gifts, right? We're all different, we're all blessed differently, right? Some are able to take the one single gift and multiply it. Some learn the one gift and hope that life is gonna work for them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? So there are different paths. I can't tell someone who's coming from it. I'd rather say, hey, there's an option. This is what, these are the pros, these are the cons, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do. But if you still feel unsure, you can figure yourself out. Whether you're going to be working, what are you going to be doing this, what's your plan? Try to figure out what do you want to do, or where do you see yourself? And God forbid, you ask yourself, okay, if you don't have your plans to do, what are you going to do to survive? Right? That gauges you on a different level now. Now you have to think, hey, these people are growing old now, eh? One day, unfortunately, it's going to happen when the time has come. Then you're going to have to step up.
Sure.
What are you going to do then?
Yeah. Valid points. If you can just scan what I've been asking, whatnot. So I can have spoken about the growth, how you grow as a person, family. Now I wanna just dig a little bit deep, not too deep, but in the relationship side of things. Now I have to go.
No, it's not wrong.
I have to. Yesterday already it was Valentine's Day. So how, as a young groom or as a young man, how do you actually, what's your, menu or roadmap in looking for a proper person, a proper partner to actually do this life?
For me,
Especially,
there's a lot of factors, right? There's no one size fits all approach. That's what I want to try to. We're all different people. We all come with different opinions. We all think differently. We all see life differently. We all see marriage differently, right? So, for me to actually find that person, it would have to be first. Let's have a conversation. Let me gauge your mind. Let me see where you're at in certain topics. Right? I'll ask you. So, what is your view on marriage? What is your view on traditional customs that are being followed within your culture? Do you still want to go through practicing the same cultures? Do you want to see yourself changing, or do you see yourself not marrying under certain things? Do you see yourself married in the first place? Because many people don't see themselves married, right? So you can't force someone to do something they don't want to do, right? So you have to ask, okay, do you see yourself ever getting married? Right? Do you see yourself being a mother? Do you see yourself being someone besides who you are currently now? right? And how does that look like for you? Right? So I have to ask you, okay, yes, we can be dating or we can, whatever the case is at the time, but what's your view in this?
Okay.
Yeah, just to see. Some conversations will let you know that this is a person you can marry, this person is not, you're definitely not going to marry. You're just going to date, but in like suddenly it's cats, right?
Apparently, that's what's happening.
Yeah, just having fun. And remember, in our day and age, it's very different now. Like the roles, relationships, hey, it's very difficult, right? A lot of societal pressures, a lot of pressures from our counterparts who are age, a lot of expectations, right? Which can be met. Some are unrealistic expectations. You can't, like, I'm just gonna basic example, right? You can't be expecting a student to take you out on a fancy restaurant, 5-star, whatever the case is, for Valentine's, on a student budget.
Hey, dog.
Some can, but I'm saying the vast majority, it doesn't make sense, right? The moment you grocery, expenses for the rest of the month, and then whatever's left, maybe I can have fun here and there.
Sure.
Then now you have to budget for a date. So sometimes it stops you from, hey, maybe I should not be dating, or maybe I should not be. You know what I mean? It forces you as a varsity student, it forces you to be like, hey, what else can I do to get an extra income? Then maybe potentially once I have that additional income, I can consider stuff of, okay, let me do something special for this person. Take you out on a date. Let's go on a boat trip.
That's also go
Both ways. True.
Yeah,
But now, remember that because of a lot of things, of how a lot of things have been set up, it's always the expectation for the change to do more, right? It's a bit tricky now, right? People want provide. I'll always say this.
Yeah.
They want providers, right?
Yeah.
Or traditional men in the sense of providing, but they're not willing to fulfill the role of a traditional partner.
Okay.
Right?
Solid.
Exactly. So it's few for me. Like it's few. I don't know.
I feel like
there's a lot of factors that contribute to this dating thing.
I feel like our major problem, especially as young people, especially as I feel like the major problem as young people with everything, the dating scene, relationships and whatnot, I feel like we're trying to navigate how we can get to love in a materialistic world. And so we've so tied love into a materialistic form.
That's
and I feel like that's the major problem in our generation, maybe.
But look, as much as we'd like to say we're tying it to materialistic love, right? There's two sides to the coin, right?
Yeah.
Right? For some people, they have an idea of what a person should be dating is, right?
Okay.
Whether they got it from TV, whether it's a movie, whether it's a series, whether it's whatever the case is. So when they see you, Lesego, not doing A, B, C, they're assuming that this person doesn't love me, or this person doesn't like me, or this person doesn't do X, Y, and Z. So we're not really dating. Right? But then there's also the flip side. Some people fall in love with the idea of dating, not actually dating the person, right? Because of how nice they look, maybe in their friends, society's eyes at large, they're like, oh, look at this mama, oh, aren't they so cute? Some prefer that external validation rather, in a sense, instead of actually dating that person and actually getting to know the person that they're with.
I feel like the dating or relationship one it's very tricky, controversial, and I feel like everyone has their own opinion when it comes to this.
Exactly.
So I think when it comes to this one specifically, it's a matter of finding a person that you can actually resonate
that's what I'm
and be
saying,
on the same wavelength.
But they're few and rare, right? And the ones that you do find, hey, if you as a gent or the other one decides to do whatever they do, and then they're like, you know what, I'm not entertaining this anymore, I'm fine. Who do you find? Exactly.
I feel like that's now because there are people
and they're there.
It's
but
just
you don't want that one.
You have
and the main reason, some of them are stupid, right? for some, I feel like certain gents, because of my check, right? Very interesting thing, right? You can find this girl attractive,
Sure.
but then the gents will be like, man, what's up, boy?
Yeah.
Get out,
Like,
get
the
out.
the things
Listen,
that
listen.
people say.
Get out. The moment they say take out, you're feeling it, you're like, ish, this is my hand. Hey, maybe she has to be in a certain. But then now it makes you, it looks better on you as a gent, right? Because you're trying to get that validation from your gents instead of trying to make you happy.
Sure.
You understand? And at the end, it catches up to you because you're not living your life, you are living for other people.
Sure. Ish, yeah. That's always the case, I feel like. But yeah, man, I feel like, as we said, man, everyone has their own opinions. And unfortunately, you just have to find the best way forward for you to have a person that you can really connect understand, communicate, and yeah.
Oh, the other contributing factor is that many are not dating for marriage, right? It's a concept, right? Not many are not dating for marriage, or rather, let me put the marriage topic aside. Many are not dating for long term, right? Your intentions will be okay. And like, what are we doing here? Soon enough for graduating. What's the plan? Pella, sometimes it's going to be a distance thing. You're in Gauteng, I'm in Cape Town. What must happen?
I feel like some people are afraid of the future, that they're so consumed by the present.
True. But then,
Particularly, but I can't just say that. But yeah, I feel like
you can't constantly live afraid of the future, right? You anticipate good things, good or bad. It's still gonna happen. It's life. You take the knocks, dust yourself off, continue. Yes, I know not many have that mentality, but you have to build it, right? As a student, as a person of growing life, if you're trying to pursue bigger things than you, if you're praying every night, you say, God, I want X, Y, Z, and you're actually working towards that, a lot of trials and tribulations are gonna come. You're gonna face a lot of things, and you feel like, but why me? But then you forget that you asked for this. You're being molded, you're being shaped, you're being tested to see do you truly want this?
sure.
Then not many people fail on the journey towards going to the goal or what they prayed for.
Would you say it's lack of patience, maybe?
Yes, I mean, we live in a society that lives on instant gratification, right? Everything's quick, everything's fast, everything's convenient. So many people lack that factor of patience. People want to be millionaires within 2 years. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have to work and you're gonna have to struggle.
Yeah.
You have to go through it.
I'm not saying
you have to tag it out, right? You're gonna have to struggle. You're gonna have to go through the hard knocks of life, right? Yes, some start at a better position than you, but if you play the comparison game, it don't work for you. Patience. Your time is coming.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the South Africa. Are modimo o shebile ka line so
Sure.
ka di blessings. O blessed wena ntaka. Bona ska fela pele. Nako ya o ile. O tla o bless. And now bless
But yeah, nah, that's really, yeah, that's just the reality of life. But you have to be, focused and concentrated on one thing. Take inspiration from others. Don't envy others like that. And don't
Yes,
compare yourself
the
with
biggest
others.
killer, right? It's comparison and envy.
Yeah.
Those are poison, right? There's a reason why they say comparison is the thief of joy, right? I look at Lesego, oh man, Lesego's tripping out, man. Why don't I have? Lesego has a 5 feet, man. It's actually nice. Let me ask him where you got it. Maybe then one day when I have the funds, I'll buy it myself. See,
It's a different
two different ball game perspectives.
Inspired.
You're inspired. You know what? Hey, maybe I should actually start doing to get extra cash so then I can start tripping out.
Yeah. I feel
Two different mentalities, two different perspectives, two different sets of people.
Yeah. As we move from like the whole topic of relationships, I'd like us to address a very, touching, a very crucial matter in our country, which is gender-based violence, femicide, and such things. What's your perspective? Because I think some of these things start from the relationship scene.
So
If
also,
not all of them,
can
if not
you
all
care
of
to
them.
elaborate?
Okay, okay. I think from personal experiences that I've seen, I've heard of the people that maybe I'm fortunate enough to have interactions with, I feel like to a point, I didn't know this. I'm only starting to realize this. Is that when gents move into relationships and dating, girls and whatnot, or ladies, to just put respect on their name or gender, we have this sense of entitlement, dog. That's, I feel like at this age, at this time, it could be a bit poisonous to where we want to be with this person.
Most definitely.
Once I'm answering the phone. Hey dog, we dating, we growing. We have to come real to the fact that we both growing, and people want to explore. They want to be themselves and what. So I feel like that level of entitlement that we have, or we starting to grow as normal as gents, it's becoming poisonous.
Cool, no problem. But then now we have to unpack it, right? You say you sense a level of entitlement. We have to ask, where's this level of entitlement coming from? Where did they see this before? You understand? Because I don't just act on something that I don't know. I saw it from someone I respect, someone I adore, maybe a family member, a hotman, or wherever you live, someone you admire, you know what I mean, or respect, or is well respected. And then you saw them acting a certain way with females, and then you adopted that thinking, that happens with, oh, so when a hunt does this, I have to do this. Understand? And then it becomes a thing of that, because it's some it's in habits that they picked up along the way as they were growing up.
For sure.
You understand?
For sure.
No one was there to tell them, hey, this is how you treat a lady, right? Or this is what you do. Like, if a guy know you and a guy and ask a hot man, hey Joe, how do you approach a hand? And you see the way that they speak. The way that they speak will tell you what kind of person they are and what are their thoughts on this thing. You know what I mean? So we have to unpack it. It's not really a sense of entitlement, because it goes both ways. You understand? The lady can also be entitled. Right?
For sure.
And this thing of this possessiveness, this idea of possessiveness that you are mine and I'm yours fully, it also gets people trapped in that side.
I feel like I was referring to both sides of the
Yes,
thing. Entitlement is dangerous.
It gets you trapped in that cycle, right? Because once you say no, this person is mine. Now, obviously, you're gonna want to protect what's yours, but some they don't understand the word that protect. There's a different way. There are different forms and ways of protecting that don't have to lead to such. To the violence, to the this, to you don't listen. Why didn't you? No. There are many ways that you can educate a person. Okay, look, if you can be able to sit down and be like, okay, look, I don't like what you do. 1, 2, 3. What's the way forward? Very few people are able to sit down. Right? And remember, I don't like to bring this in, but then some are also dealing with traumas, right? We're all people, we're all carrying our struggles, we all have our problems, we all have stresses in life, we all have a lot of things in life. So that's just the boiling pot of emotions. And some don't know how to deal with the emotions, especially just they've never been taught. Some grew up in households where, the stereotypical idiot like, or you know what I mean? More this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. So some grew up with that mentality and it's been stuck with them. And they just know that this is the mentality I'm going with. This is what I'm going forward. If someone doesn't align with what I know, I'm gonna
whatever happens. Hey. It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
The stats are really shocking.
Very dangerous.
I feel like as much as I know a lot of gents when it comes to this issue, it could be gents that are not actively participating in this violence against females. It could not be females that are participating or a problem in this thing. But especially gents, we have this thing of what happened on the other side. Like, this person pressed me and so on.
We want to know
to get to this point.
Like I'm saying, every side there's two sides to the coin.
Yeah.
We may hear her story. We don't know his story. I'm not saying this to justify what the gents are doing, but I'm just saying it's good to know both sides of the story, not just immediately come to the rescue that no, you are wrong because of 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. What happened for us to even reach this stage, right?
Okay.
What signs were there that you may have potentially ignored on both sides, right? What certain things that happened before and you're like, nah, he wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? This love, there's a reason why love is blind, right? You love someone to the extent you ignore certain things, right? Certain signs will be there, but you'll ignore them completely. Or your friends, well, not maybe friends, or people you may know, be like, hey, this person does 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
But you still go. Doesn't make sense, right? And ladies, some of them, not saying all, have fallen in love with this idea of associating love with danger. What do I mean? They love, I don't know if it's because of the stuff that they watch or the content that they consume. Exactly. The villain's always loved.
Okay.
Right? So, because the villain's always loved, you know what I mean? I'm not saying this is every girl's mentality, but from the videos that you pick up on social media, your TikToks or whatnot, and you see one saying, "Munna ke raife." You understand? Such
And it's
topics.
not that
It's
funny.
It's not that funny. It's great. And then someone, when you talk to someone about this, they're like, "No, it's not that deep. It's deep." Because it means to say, okay, mutona hahola, they're still going to continue
What is
thinking,
going on out
they're
there?
going to continue with that mentality.
Yeah.
And then eventually, if they become a mother, they're going to continue inculcating that
Sure.
very same mentality to the kids.
Sure.
You understand?
Mm.
So, I don't know. The novel, maybe the novels they read, maybe these Wattpads, maybe, I don't know. Fall in love with the gangster. This. No.
It's not.
They've romanticized criminality to an extent,
Toxicity.
toxicity, criminality, gangsterism to such an extent where if they're not in a relationship that gives them that level of excitement about happy.
And guess what? It's all rooted from how the person grew up.
Exactly.
That's the crazy
They're-
thing. It
the
goes back
fact
to your
is-
point.
Exactly. The fact is, that grew up, the environments that they grew up in, the people that they saw,
Sure.
the females, the older ladies that they saw around their space, how they behaved. Were they married? Was it this? Were they single? Or if they were single, why were they single? Are they divorced? Or were they in abusive marriages, toxic marriages? And then, if they were, what did they learn from these people? Or what were they told by these people about men or just men in general, right?
Sure.
Both ends, also gents. For some to have that same mentality.
It's rooted back
Back to
where
your
you're
environment,
from.
your environment you grew up with, your school, right? The people that you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
the topics that you guys started talking about, and how do you view a woman or a lady? So it's a lot.
Yeah, man.
It's
I
a lot of
hear you.
factors.
But on that note, I would like us to deal with the controllable variables, like I guess gents and so on. And we know with this thing of GBV and whatnot. Of course, life is not smooth. It's not all rainbows and sunshine and so on. But at the same time, how do you deal with a specific traumatic experience? They hurt you, they do something. How do you responsibly, within the boundaries of our constitution as a man, how can we advise, cheaters, rooms to actually deal with this in this manner to avoid us falling on the opposite side of the
There are a lot
table?
of outlets, right? Some choose a lot. Some choose substance abuse, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, or whatever the case is.
Sure.
Some choose distraction, right? Can be go to the gym, cooking, starting a hobby to distract yourself from that
Gym.
right? Whether you're boxing to let out that anger so that you can be able to deal with whatever you're going to be dealing in the house, let's say, right? Some remember the idea of therapy to many men is insulting. They believe that it doesn't work for them. Right? Then we have to ask, why do you believe that this thing doesn't work? Right? A lot of gents, but a lot of stuff. Like if you to accept, just explain to me 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Some would it catches up. Right? Ask me, believe me, I know. I used to have this bad habit of putting up stuff, not speaking. And then caught up. That emotional turmoil, it's not healthy. You have to find ways to I don't know, healthy coping mechanisms. Don't like, okay, maybe
letting go.
Yes, it's also a contributing factor, letting go, right? But remember, some things are not easily let go. When you say trauma, it sticks with you, right? Even if you're sleeping 5 years down the line and something triggers you, you remember that in 2020, there was this person who did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to me. So it's still stuck with you. That's what I'm saying. Gents need to learn better coping mechanisms, positive, healthy coping mechanisms that are not going to lead to you taking out your stress, your whatever, your emotions, your frustrations on another person.
It could be another guy.
Exactly. I don't know. I'd like to believe like this topic is very, very important. I feel like it should be mentioned, right? But I feel like we should get more professional guidance on what other coping mechanisms maybe potentially. If you have another guest, who's more educated on the topic, that could help you to, okay, no, actually, these are the things that you can do. This is how you can start.
I feel like that's what you just raised there of us in terms of addressing. I know there are a lot of lines, national lines where people can report such issues, speak to, but I feel like in raising awareness against this cancer that's eating up South Africa particularly, because I think we're high up there in terms of GBV.
Yeah.
I think informing and educating all genders, all sexualities, everyone. I think educating on how to cope with such, traumatic experiences, hard blows, heartbreaks, and whatnot. I feel like
for many gents, the first step is opening up. Many are closed, right? Whether because of experience that happened 2 years back, 5 years back, and decided that, okay, it seems like I should not show who I truly am or who I should stand. So it's more opening up on the gents' end, right? Not many gents are willing to open up about their wounds, the tissues, the pains, the scars that they got, you understand? But once more gents can start opening up and feeling comfortable, or opening up and without the fear of being judged,
laughed at,
mocked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
being able to sit down with the gents and be like, gents, hey, this is what happened. 1, 2, 3, this is the case. And you're just being able to be a good support system. Be like, no, my dog, it's fine. We'll deal with it. You know what I mean? There are many ways to deal with it. This is just not the way.
Okay. I feel like this is a very, as I said, crucial, and hopefully with other episodes we can just arrange and sit down, maybe a female.
Yes, yes, and get a different perspective.
Maybe actually allow them to speak amongst themselves so that we can learn.
We can just speak, but then we're speaking based off experiences that we know, what we've heard, what we've seen potentially.
From our gender's perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah. A disclaimer for everyone, GBV, femicide, any type of violence in the country, in the world, is not allowed.
Sorry to interject, right? For the gents, another thing, right? Gents holding other gents accountable, right? If you are suspected or you are suspected of being an abuser, chief, we have to deal with you now. We're addressing with you now. Chief, what's happening? Why are we hearing it when you're an abuser?
We don't cover up for you.
We don't cover, no cover ups, no nothing. Actually, sitting down with you, like, we don't tolerate that nonsense.
On a serious note,
holding each other accountable. Would say, my dog, no, you're not being out. Out.
Yeah.
Right. But if more gents get more spaces like that, chill with people that are more willing to hear them open up, vent, whatever the case is, and actually help them deal with it, or try to help them get assistance to deal with it. I'm telling you, we're gonna heal slowly, but we're gonna heal.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that advice, and I hope everyone sitting at home, varsity, whatever, wherever you are, I hope you just take good note of this serious issue. Because I feel like that's the most important thing in our daily conversations as girls, boys, young men, young ladies out there. I think it's very important for us to remind each other of, the terrible things that are happening in our country. and how we as young people can actually counteract
Yes.
on so, and actually, set a difference, because I don't think just because maybe people, that brought us up, maybe they resonate or believe in certain views in the world,
That's
we
what I'm
should
saying.
hold on to that.
That's what I'm saying. With
Yeah.
older people, it's a bit more difficult
Mm.
because it's already ingrained with them over
Yeah.
decades, right? It's life experience, right? They grew up under different times, like we are growing up under different times, right?
Sure.
And the world is ever so changing. Are we going to change with it, or are you going to just be stuck in the past?
We gotta change, DK. We gotta change for sure. And yeah, I think to just not close it because we want further discussions on that topic. But hey Joe, there's a lot of going. We just had the State of the Nation address. There's a lot going on in our country, politically, economic
In
wise.
terms of geopolitics.
It's a lot, dog. And I feel like we always had these conversations during the holidays, summer holidays, and how can we actually bring people young,
Towards the
a
topic,
couple, even
yes.
if it's 2 today, 3 tomorrow, dog. It's super
That's a
fun.
start,
It's a start.
as long as we
How
get the
can
people
we just
together.
bring people to engage in a very
That's-
knowledgeable, open-minded way
Thing
for
is-
these issues?
We have to make it fun, right? For many people, or for a lot of young people, we fall in love with the idea of fun so much that we don't pay attention to the serious situations, right?
Okay.
Number one. Number two, it can get overwhelming, right? You're waking up every day and you're listening to negative stuff about being said about your country in terms of economics, in terms of politics, and you're just like, what's the use? Because it's still the same, right? And then I feel like the youth feel like they're stifled. They don't have that platform to actually allow them to move in politics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, we understand that the wisdom of the older generation is still there, but
For sure.
they're not giving opportunities. Like they still hold on to they're gripping to the little power that they have, and they're not letting go.
Within the political parties
Within the
themselves.
politics, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Even the youth spaces that the youth
Yeah,
parties,
they
it's
controlled
still
by
the
the
same. It's still
old
controlled, exactly.
minds or
and
old
it's
heads.
and thing is, you're not taken seriously as a young person. You'll have certain political ideas, certain things that you want to propose, but they'll be like, what do you know?
No, you. I feel like most of the youth organizations within our country that operate within the various political
Political parties,
parties we have, I feel like we are more of empty barrels within these parties than actually being active people that are now leading the revolution. Because I'm of the view that it's quite hypocritical and narrow-minded for us to allow at this point in time in our lives, in our history, allow, I don't know how to put it like this, but I have to say, pensioners to lead the revolution when we are the ones that are actually going to even this future that we're talking
Here's my
about.
thing, right? It's a thing of we have to get more youth interested in learning about how these pensioners creating these policies, making these decisions are going to affect you
It's crazy.
5 years, 10 years
It's
down the
crazy.
line. What effect are these policies being introduced going to affect your kids if you plan to have kids in the future, or your people around you? You don't have to have kids, your nephews or whatnot, they're going to grow up, right? Like certain acts that have been mentioned, right? I.e., the alcohol ban that's been going around now in the news articles and whatnot. That's also another thing that we should talk about, because a lot of people love alcohol, but also a lot of people are like alcohol is an instrument of destruction. So where are you leaning as a young person? Are you for it? Are you against it? And if you're for it, what are your reasons why? We have to know, why are you for it? Why are you against it? You know what I mean? Then we can reach a what? Common ground. Right? It starts slowly. We obviously can't expect everyone to be interested in politics. We get that. But if we can make it interesting, or get them to give it just a platform where young people can actually discuss their ideas.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get a lot of bright minds, a lot of bright ideas, right? Then maybe we can start something of our own.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the main purposes that I saw a need to open or establish, this initiative program with Tlotlo Ngwena and Latifa Katlego Matsidi. So it was just to bring forward a a platform, dog, where as young people we can freely express ourselves. And actually, you know what, say we see these people pass that law, you know, our elders pass that law, and I think we do.
But then why can't we change it? Why can't we propose a change?
But at the same time, I don't want us to speak out of arrogance that we're not willing to listen.
Most definitely. No. It's a place of we're willing to humble ourselves, but then we want a chance for ideas to be listened to and actually being considered.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
We're not speaking from a place of arrogance. We're just saying, hey, you're not giving us a chance to. You're not actually listening to us. Right? We may have these thoughts, but you're not listening to us. And then you keep on asking, why is the youth not engaging in politics? It's because of the environment, of the political environment that is currently present in our country. I mean,
that's for sure, man, because it would be naive of us to speak out of arrogance, because I personally myself, you know, spoken into politics and what, taught and molded by my grandparents and so parents here and there. So there is an ear that we have to give them, but at the same time, within the country, there just has to be a shift.
Yes, we're willing to listen to them, but then they also have to be willing to listen to us and understand that we're living in our time now. And
we're going there.
Yeah, we're not going back. You know what I mean? We're only going forward. And as we're going forward, a lot of things are going to change. And things have to change. But for us to be able to implement the change, we also have to be willing to learn. And just to listen that, hey, this is what we're thinking. Yes, we understand that this is how you grew up, this is how this is structured, but this is old now. We need to change it to keep up.
I think we also, as young people, have to take a high level of accountability in terms of, you know, learning, studying, and all sorts of stuff. Because as much as we're talking now, we can't just talk and say we want to be governance, we want to lead, but you're not doing anything. You're chilling on the corner, chilling. You can't do that. So you have to engage. You have to learn.
You have to ask. You have to be willing to be a sponge, basically. And absorb and learn everything that you can learn, and then practically apply it. Because yes, knowledge without works is dead.
And so that's my mind state at this point. If we can just bring, you know, a collective, you know, of young people, bright minds from each and every sector, you know,
it's not limited.
You know, from accounting, from law,
everything,
technology.
I feel like if we combine from all these faculties, these industries, it makes us. I don't know. It's progressive. It's the way that we can move forward, right? Because if it's just a majority dominated, it's going to be too, what? How can I say that? I don't know. Like it's like too basic. Because everyone knows what industry we're in. It will be relating too much to each other. They don't understand the struggles of maybe potentially a person in another industry. Right? You don't know what the struggles they're facing. Or maybe we have similarities, but then we just don't know. Or maybe there are differences we can actually counter that can actually apply in all industries.
I hear you. So in the resolution of, I feel like I think it's been passing 30 years now of our democracy as a country. Do you feel confident enough? Are you still confident in the idea that political parties would resolve, you know, the various socio-economic issues that we're constantly facing? Like, is it still relevant?
To be totally honest, if you want change, we have to do it ourselves. Like, to be totally honest, we can't be always dependent on because the ANC or because this particular party. Let me not be specific. Let me see.
And these we love these parties. We love these parties.
So let me not
grow up under them.
Let me not be specific to these parties, right? So let me just say, you can't say party A. No, they're going to solve it. They're going to be on to bring the change. No, we bring the change. We are the voice of reason, and they need us to be in those positions of power, right? That's why there's a voting system. That's why it's called a democracy.
That's the other question. What's a democracy? I feel like we've been kind of like ridiculed in that regard in terms of democracy.
It's technical. Because a lot of people have different ideas of what democracy is. I would
I
lie
think
to
I
you.
don't know what
I don't lie.
democracy is anymore.
Same.
Because, I mean, if we just do a mini summary in our continent or in our country, okay, we have a voting system, system. You vote for people you want to govern the country at whose best interest, because as much as you can put a person there, I feel like in our country we have no bridge between the people.
Power corrupts. Right?
Yeah.
You can say this, and then once you're on the other end, totally different story.
But the crazy thing is we're not going forward as a country.
Yes.
It's sad.
Yes.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad because many are going to struggle 10 years down the line. The next decade, they'll notice that, hey, it was actually that deep, hey? We kept on saying it's not that deep, it's not that deep. It was actually that deep. If you're not being cognizant of what's happening, current affairs, how does it affect you? How does it affect my family? How does it affect people who are close to me? What can I do as a person today to help me better understand what's happening?
Then it's child.
You'll be left behind.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Economics, what's out there? What's on your mind? What's troubling you in terms of how we're moving as a country?
There's this, I was coming back, I don't know where I was coming back from my dad, right? And on the radio, there's this topic of a poly crisis, right? And basically it's this recent issue about the water thing, right?
For sure.
The resources thing, like the irregular weather patterns, the whatnots, like they're like 5 years now. This is going to be an issue. Our water reserves, the water, the whatnot.
There's no maintenance.
There's no maintenance. Yes, we're
our-
still using systems from decades ago, which should have been long maintained. And even if there is maintenance, it's not really maintenance. It's just a budget being allocated and people benefiting from it without actually doing the work, right? So they're like, it's a poly crisis. And I'm like, what's a poly crisis? It's like, hey,
There are all sorts of names.
for these things. They're like basically resource scarcity, right? That's a reality that could happen in the next 5 years.
in the country.
Yes, because of government not being able to maintain and update rather and upgrade
Our
the current infrastructure and the
Health
systems that have
services,
been everything.
sanitary.
And with how it's moving, it's gonna force many state-owned entities, i.e. your own water, to privatize. And usually, with privatization of essential services in our country, it's going to be tricky now. Because with private ownership comes in with the aim of making profit.
Yeah, it's capitalism.
And at the expense of ordinary people. Right? Isn't it? I don't know if it still is. South Africa is still classified as a mixed, right, economy, right? But the way it's been heading the past few years and going now, we're going to a capitalist nation.
Totally capitalist.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the talks of ESCOM being separated into 3 holding entities
Subsidiaries and whatnot. Yeah.
so that private investors can come in and invest into the country so they can help. Are they truly going to help us? Because who's going to pay up for the cost of the electricity? Right? Because soon enough, we're going to be dependent on the private sector to provide essential services. And
that's a big
and
issue.
that's a big issue, right? Yes, granted that the government is failing quite dismally at its job of providing essential services like water, electricity, the standard. But do we truly want to give up those essential services to private? Because private doesn't care. Hey? If you can't afford, you can't afford. Meaning you live in squalor, you don't have essential services, and then you can't survive because these are basic necessities that you need to survive.
So what you actually foreseeing in the country is a broader
And
gaps between the standards of living amongst people or the classes.
It's going to increase.
Poor.
It's going to be stuck.
Yeah.
It's not going to be poor, middle class. It's going to be poor, rich. It won't be, no, there's a middle class. No. Poor, you're rich.
And
It's going to be a thing of affordability.
Yeah.
Can you afford? Can you not afford?
And the concerning issues, who's will be in charge of these upcoming companies that will be running these essential services.
Exactly, that's the thing.
You
We
know?
don't know their history.
I'm sorry.
We don't have the background. We don't know how they operate in their own countries,
Mhm.
and then they come to operate in our country.
Foreign investors.
Foreign investment.
And we're not against, it's just
It's
what's
just
in
that-
it for us. I'm sorry,
Thing
as a
is,
country.
it's not within our best interest to be
Yeah.
offering essential services to private sector,
Mm.
right? Rather, at best, a joint cooperation between government and private sector.
Mm.
But if we look at in the South African context in terms of government-private ownership,
Sure.
it's always an issue because government is obviously focused on serving the needs of the people.
Yeah.
Private is concerned more about
Yeah,
reducing cost and
Profit
maximizing
margins.
profit.
Yeah.
And maximizing profit.
Yeah.
So
It's
tricky.
It's crazy, bro.
It's
And
tricky.
Rona Joe, it's difficult for us if you're an entrepreneur upcoming.
Exactly.
It actually kind of creates the gap now
Yeah,
enlarges.
exactly.
Exactly. And Gamo, we're trying to climb up and
We're starting from
yeah.
a very further distance, right?
Mm.
And you're trying to catch up to these big multinational
Mm.
corps, big businesses. They don't care. They're willing to spend. They'll just price you down out of the market. So it closes that space for innovation. It closes that space for entrepreneurship. It closes the space of let's allow like young creatives to actually do something and see how far they can go.
Gamo, it's unemployment.
Exactly. At its highest, it's going to continue.
Can't.
It's going to, kid you not, it's going to continue.
I mean,
I
this
mean,
is
okay.
concerning.
It is okay.
It's really, it's mind-blowing.
Let's look at the past. It's 2026. Let's look at the past 5 years from 2019, 2020, the COVID relief thing. Okay, fine. How many jobs have been created?
It's a decline. On a decline.
Recession, right?
Yeah.
How has the economy performed in the past 3 years? Yes, good. We're taking off the grey listing thing. The IMF is telling us that South Africa is coming along, but they just have to be careful of this and this and that. But are we going to truly grow at a pace enough that's going to keep up with the population? Because people are being born every day. People are going to need food, resources, this. So at the end, it's going to be a thing of a war for resources.
Amongst the ordinary.
Those who can afford, those who can't afford.
This is
And then
crazy.
when it becomes a stark contrast between who can afford, it'll be a situation of those who can afford, what measures are they willing to take? What lengths are they willing to make to be able to afford? And now it's going to lead to a cycle of crime. Then also leads to other cycles, right? Because crime also factors into a lot of things.
Now, this is crazy, man. I feel like the most clear, simple example is that, you know what, we had a new group of people that completed matric, and a large portion of them.
Exactly.
Oh, it starts there.
You highlighted a very
It
big
starts
point.
there.
University
Yeah.
acceptance. University of quotas. You're telling me a million people graduating,
Yeah.
and then only this much are going to be accepted into these tertiary institutions. Granted, they are private colleges, but private colleges is expensive, right? Yes, they're technical colleges, but then not many people have that funding. You know what I mean? It's a funding issue for some. Some parents just can't do it. It forces you to become a young laborer. You work, but you're not going to work something that you love. Maybe perhaps it happens that you don't pass matric the way that you wanted to.
Sure.
You understand?
And it's
Now
a
it's an
reality.
issue. Now it's an issue. Now you can apply for relatively good jobs. Right? Yes, you're young. They can invest in you, but they'll just exploit you. Even if you get a job, you'll be earning what you're supposed to be earning. Right? They'll just take advantage of you, exploit you, because you're young, naive, and you need to survive.
You need to survive.
Right? So they'll pay you anything, and you accept it.
Yeah, man, because as much as we can now outline that the matriculants for 2025, but now remember, even in vast institutions, university and stuff, we have now people that have completed their degrees,
Can't get jobs.
can't get jobs. Some are struggling post-grad, they want to come back, but the funding, you know, our NSFAS system, it doesn't cover you for post-grad studies or second degree. So it's really it's a challenge in this kind of world. So and I don't know if we're doing everything in our best. I don't know. The muscle we have as a country to actually battle these, because I think this is where problems start laying. When people can't get jobs, when people can't get or study because of financial
thing is right.
Yeah.
With the way this thing sets up, right, it's gonna force a lot of people to go outside, right? Meaning, you find a large talent pool that could have been utilized at these tertiary institutions is leaving the country. You're leaving a skilled labor force that's still young and impressionable, and they can be trained further to outside countries. Then who gets to benefit? Not our country. The countries they're going to, right? They're going to benefit those industries, right? And then here, it's like, it's tricky. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's tricky. Because if majority of the people are like, after matric, I'm just gonna leave. Like, if I can get an opportunity to get, I must leave this country. But I understand that it's not a reality for the average Joe or someone who at home is usually like that. The reality is you need to get a job. You need to survive. You need to eat. You need to buy food. You need this. You need that. It's expensive here. And because the standard of living,
it's going up. Inflation keeps going up.
But our salary is increasing.
Nope. Everyone's in a chokehold.
Everyone is just here. Barely surviving, just here. Soon enough, everyone will be here. Under the roads.
And then there's another initiative, I think it's 2018, if I'm not mistaken, of recruitments that have been and I guess are now done with varsity and whatnot. The free fees must fall campaign. What's your in 2026? Because I feel like maybe we kind of abandoned what they were on. What do you think?
Remnants of that will come back slowly, will trickle back slowly into tertiary institutions. Right? What do I mean? Yes, fees must fall was a great initiative, but it seems like nothing was done after that, right? Yes, they marched, they did that, this, that, and the third. But people are still struggling to get to university. People are still struggling to clear fees, to obtain qualification, right? So, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Don't you think in a way it's a reflection of the division that's present within, the youth, in terms of not maybe I have a bursary or I'm self-funded. I don't think I should go there because I'm good.
Yeah, true.
So because this thing, dog, it's crazy, dog. It's concerning because as we keep on saying, it's a recession. Each and every year, everything's getting worse. Everything's getting tighter. Salaries are constant. Inflation is going up. Parents are just fighting at this point, or battling for survival.
It forces you to look at other avenues to get an income, right? You can't live on one salary nowadays, right? Yeah. And one salary is not enough, unfortunately. In this current economy, you need at least multiple streams of income. But that's not a reality for someone, you understand? Because they just don't have the time to explore those avenues. They have to work to keep that one salary that's going to provide. So it's tricky, right? Because your job is demanding, and you have to respect your job. Your job, you understand that? The salary that you have, you pay your expenses, and you're left with that little bit.
School fees,
right? And then you have to work again to get the very same paycheck again. So unfortunately, you're just working to survive.
Yeah, and to mount the approach.
That's all.
Yeah, man. I feel like there's just the conversation we had today. As I said, I want it to be organic, and I want it to be just us, not us speaking, not us speaking something on a research book or whatnot, but what's on our minds. And so it was a very good session having you actually availing yourself and respecting, being punctual. That's one of the major things that I'm learning from and that I see as very instrumental if you want to, especially if you want to be a very successful person in this world.
Just respecting
Yeah,
time. That's all.
respecting time and knowing what you want. So yeah, man, I think we're gonna host another session. I don't know when. We'll chop it up and see how everything goes. So on that note, what remarks would you like to pass on, just to close everything off, and another call for another conversation?
I don't know, hey, I don't have any sound advice or remarks or anything, but hey, just for people our age or the youth,
Yeah,
it's that deep. I'll leave it there. It's
Yeah.
that deep. That's all.
the sooner you
The
realize,
sooner you realize,
better.
the better. It's that deep.
Mm.
Not everything is fun.
Yeah.
There's time for jokes. There's time to get serious. You must have a balance, chief. Yes, I'm not saying live your life. I'm not saying don't live your life, but I'm saying
Yeah,
there must be that balance with okay. Hey, now it's getting tricky here.
for sure.
Now it's time for me to focus here.
Mm.
That's it.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you very much, man. As I always say to the viewers at home, wherever you are, you could be anywhere in the world, but you just decided to just go on YouTube and click on a video. Thank you very much. And yeah, engage in the conversations, comments, like, share, and subscribe. It would be highly appreciated as we trying to grow this woke community of young people. So that we become better human beings, better parents, because
Better
that's
leaders,
better leaders.
better community leaders,
Yeah, it's just
better people in society in general.
that's just the objective in us trying to advance our aspirations in a country that's very troubled. No politics. We've spoken about all these things. Yeah, so that's what we're on about. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I feel so happy.
Like a consensus here. I got some, big boss and bees and some boys on the block.